So it's that time of the month. Let's take a look at the top five most expensive comic books sold on HIPCOMIC's website. And let's see whether or not the buyers got a good deal, boom, or not so good a deal, bust. Stay tuned for the video.
Anachronic.
Hi, comic fans. I'm Joe, and welcome to Anachronic Comics. So last month I started this new series, and the series basically is looking at Hip Comics, a very big comic book sales site where both raw and graded comics are sold, and see what were the five most expensive comic books sold in the past month. Then compare it with either cover price or go collect, and see whether or not the buyer got a good deal. So let's get started. So the first one that we have, and I'll try to bring them up as we go along, is let's bring this one up. Number five is Amazing Spider Man number 19 from 1964 in a CGC 9.0. So a fairly high grade for a 1964 comic. So that's what? So 64, that's 36. It's 58 years old. Now I've got this comic book, and it ain't no way a 9.0. All right. So let's take a look at it. So the buyer paid $1,000 for this 9.0 graded CGC with a Spider-Man label. I don't know, this extra $5, I guess. So that's kind of cool. So there's an extra label over here as well, and $1,000. Now, to me, it's a 9.0, so it's hard for me to tell if I was looking at that whether or not that would have been a good deal or not. Now, again, maybe this guy's a super duper Spider-Man fan and needs number 19 to complete his entire collection of all of the volumes of Spider-Man. So maybe $1,000 is worth it to him. But let's see whether based on, and we're going to use CGC today because all five are graded comics, right? I use cover price when we've got a raw comic because they do give you raw comic fair market values. But let's do Go Collect today. So let's take a look at Go Collect, and so let's get the Go Collect on there, and let's see. Yes, here it is. So there have been 1,458 sold and 111 available. All right, let's take a look and see what Go Collect says a 9.0 should go for. It is a key issue, second appearance of Ned Leeds. All right, it's a Steve Ditko, Stan Lee, and let's go down. We see a 9. There is a 9.9, two of them, and someone in the census, $20,000. Holy cow! The 9.8 is 15.5. Going down to a 9.0, it's $1,000. So this guy paid right on the nose. 67 sales, $1,000. The 1 year average is trending down a little bit, $991. Yeah, but it's close enough. So it looks like this guy got a decent deal. He got a deal right on the nose as to what the fair market value happens to be. So number five, Amazing Spider-Man number 19 from 1964. The FMV for a 9.0 is $1,000, and that's what this guy paid on HIPCOMICS. Right? So can't go wrong with that. All right, let's take a look now and see what the next one is. Number four is Green Lantern number 76 in a CGC 8.0. It's the first Green Arrow and Green Lantern team up. It was 1970 book, and you see it was listed for $1,890, but the guy paid $1,150. Now, it's not clear to me under this whether or not it was a negotiated fee, a negotiated sale. You can do best offers occasionally. Or whether or not the seller eventually reduced it. I think that's the case, from $1,890 down to $1,150, and got the sale at $1,150. All right. So let's go back to Go Collect, and let's put in Green Lantern. Let's put in Green Lantern. And of course, I've forgotten already. Green Lantern number 76. Let's see what an 8.0 would bring us. Okay, Green Lantern 76. And here we got it from April 1970. Let's take a look. Another key issue, first Bronze Age DC comic. All right, and that's could be debatable, but I've seen that written other places. Green Arrow and Green Lantern begins in series, and that's where you've got this title here. All right, great Neil Adams covers and interiors on this series. All right, and Denny O'Neil writing it. Let's take a look. Wow, if you have a 9.8, it's $31,800. Let's go down to an 8.0. Fair market value for this is $625, but 125 sales. And the 1 year average is actually a little bit higher, so it's trending up. But let's go back again, and we see this fellow paid $1,100, or gal paid $1,150 for what is an FMV of $625, or even if you use the trending value, $650. Boy, it looks like this buyer clearly overpaid. $650 versus a sale of $1,150. That's, what's that? That's for $500 more than the FMV. So no boom here, but it looks like a bust. And again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So if it's something that the guy really wants and he's got the cash, he can buy it. You know, I think we've done the same. Though I've never done it with something like this where it's so high. I'd be looking for something that was a little bit more in tune with what the fair market value is. And one thing about Go Collect is, you can go down there, and they have available on eBay. And so let's see if they have an 8.0 here somewhere. Yeah, here's an 8.0. And so here's an 8.0 CGC on eBay, and it's going for $850. Still above the FMV, but a lot closer to it than $1,150. Let's see, some lower ones, $425 for a 6.0. Trying to see if there's another 8.0 here. 4.5s are down a bit. Okay. Looks like that's the only 8.0 that we've got right now from eBay. 8.5, $1,400. What's an 8.5 here? $950. So it's overpriced. I guess because of the nature of the book, the first team up, change in the trade dress to show that. Arguably the first DC comic from the Bronze Age. It could demand a little bit more, right? But this seems like people are paying a lot more in some instances, or asking a lot more than what the fair market value would be. So for number 4, Green Lantern number 76, busted time, bust. Okay. All right, third most expensive last month on HIPCOMICS. We have Marvel Mystery number 68, a timely predecessor to Marvel from 1946 in a CGC 6.0, right? And here again, you see that the original asking price was $2,200, but it was eventually sold for $1,750. Okay, so the seller did bring the price down in order to sell it. All right, so let's go back to Go Collect, Marvel Mystery Comics number 68. So let's put that down in the search. Okay, Marvel Mystery Comics number 68, then we got that. Let's bring it up. And yeah, $1,750 is what they paid. Okay. Here it is. 55 sold, 2 available. Okay. Let's see. Other than the fact that it's an old comic from the Golden Age, it's not listed as a key comic. So again, if it's from 1946, it's a CGC 6.0, and it's $1,750 paid. Let's go down to 6.0 and see what we got. Whoa, so here you got 10 in the census, $1,800 fair market value with a 1-year average of $2,000. So going back to it, having paid $1,750, this buyer was right in the range and may have actually gotten a better deal or a good deal, $50 less than the FMV, but also a good $150 less than the 1-year average. All right. So with respect to this Marvel Mystery Comics number 67, looks like they got a good deal. Let's take a look and see if we've got another. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. So this was a 6.0. Let's take a look at the sales again. So here we got a 6.0 on eBay where the ask is $2,300. This is an old. It's too small really to see what the. But let's click on it and see what it is. This was another 6.0, and they're asking on eBay $2,200. Wow. All right. Let's go back and see which one was this. Another 6.0 off-white, $1,995. So it really looks like for $1,750, this buyer got a good deal on this. All right, boom to you, Mr. Buyer. So for number 3, $1,750 for 6.0, less than the fair market value, less than the 1-year average, and less than the 3 others that are for sale on eBay. Not bad. Not bad. Number 2, the second most expensive comic sold last month on HIPCOMIC was New Adventure Comics number 24, a 2.5 CGC, Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster book, it looks like. It says 14 in the census. All right. This is Canadian. All right. This is Canadian. So we're going to have to convert it into American money, I guess. So let's do a quick conversion on this. All right, $1 Canadian is 72 cents American. $2,389.99. So let's make it $2,390. So this fellow in US dollars paid $2,390 for New Adventure Comics number 24, a 2.5, all right, from way back in 1938. All right, so let's go back to Go Collect. New Adventure Comics number 24. Let's put that in. Okay, let's see what we come up with for the 2.5. And all right. Oops, sorry, wrong one. So there's a guy in the canoe. Make sure we get the right one. That's correct. All right. 11 sold, none available right now. Interesting. Let's see. Well, a lot of writers, a lot of artists here. All right. So 2.5. Nothing here in 2.5, but a 3.0 sold in 2016 for for 600 US dollars. So it looks like the most recent sale was a 6.5 for $1,440. So for 2.5, it's going to be hard to tell on this one, as to whether or not we're going to really have a boom or bust on this. So going back again to the second most expensive, that 3,400 Canadian, which you said was 2,390 US dollars, could very well be a good deal. I don't know. It's not an in demand. There's not many of them out there. So if it's something that you really wanted, it's fine. So I guess we'll give him a boom only because we can't do any better. And if there's nothing better, no more information on that. You pay what you think it's worth, and it looks good to you. All right. Let's go on now to the number one, the most expensive comic sold last month on HIPCOMIC's website. And it is Fantastic Four number 49, the first Galactus and Silver Surfer appearance. It's a CGC 9.2. All right. Originally listed for $10,499. It was sold for $7,200. All right. So the seller reduced the price to $7,200. Okay, let's go back to Go Collect and put in Fantastic Four number 49. Let's see what we got. There it is. 2,930 sold, 531 available. Okay. So let's go back again. It's a 9.2, $7,200. All right, so let's get it. 9.2, $7,200. Obviously, we know it's a key issue. First full appearance of Galactus, right? Building tables, building tables. Scrolling. All right, there we go. So, 9.2, 56 in the sentence, 26 sales. Fair market value, $7,000. 1 year average, $7,000. 90-day average, $6,600. So paying $7,200 is kind of in the neighborhood, but it looks like it's trending down a bit potentially, as you see over here. All right. So let's see what's available for 9.2. If there is one on eBay, there's a 0.5, 7.5. There's a 9.0 for $1,130. Well, that's the bid right now. All right. So it definitely is going to go higher. 3.5, ask $499. 9.2 was pretty high. Great grade. So I don't know if we're going to find anything else like that. 3.06. I think this is an 8.0. He's asking $3,300 for it. Okay. Well, without going into some more, let's go down a little bit more. Let's see what we can find in a 9.2 or something close to it. 7.5, 7.5, no, well, 8.0, $3,200. All right, so here we have for 9.2 an FMV of $7,000. 1 year average is $7,000, but the 90-day average is $6,600, and our buyer paid $7,200. Right. So it's in the neighborhood. Again, not too bad. I guess if you wanted to call it a bust, that would be fine, but a couple $100 up or down to me is inconsequential. When you're going for a book like this, a 9.2, fantastic stuff. So there you have it. We have taken a look at the top 5 most expensive books sold on HIPCOMICs last month and checked it out to see whether or not the buyers had a boom, meaning that they had a good sale, or a bust. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments whether or not you thought some of those that were iffy should be booms or busts. Thanks for watching. And if you want to take a look at last month's, you can click right here and see last month's top 5. Be well, and I'll see you soon.